In order for me to never have to go back to a job, I have to treat my business like a job. Otherwise, I will wake up one day and find my butt back at a job. Because the second I get casual, I'll become a casualty. I'm gone. I'm out of the business. I'm out of the game. Most people think they need full-time hours in order to build freedom, in order to build a business. Now, here's the truth. You actually just need full-time intention with part-time hours. And if you have full-time intention with part-time hours, you could build a full-time business. And I know because that's how I started. When I started in business, April 2011, I was part-time. I had a full-time job. I was with the fire department still. If I'm being honest with you, never thought I would leave the fire department. I never thought I'd wake up one day and never go to work again. I never thought that we'd get to a position where we don't have to clock in, clock out. We don't have to be on payroll somewhere. I never thought there would come a day when we'd be financially independent, meaning that whether we work or not, whether we show up to the office or not, whether we get on appointments on Zoom or not, we're set. I never thought when I started in business that we would build a life like that. But here's the reality is that we did. And when I started, when I was 21 years old, by 23 years old, we were in a position to be making six figures. We were making a six-figure income for the first time in my life. And then by 30, we were completely financially retired in a spot where we didn't have to work anymore. Now, why do I tell you all that? I tell you that because we started part-time. And today we're talking about what you can do part-time. Today we're talking about whether or not you can make it here while still having a career, whether or not you could build a dream life here while still going to a job. And the bottom line is you can. And so we're going to go through some different ways to do that, because your job pays your bills, but I believe your business will pay your dreams and your business will fund your family's future. Your job brings in the salary, but I believe that here, even part-time, your business can bring in the dreams. And it could be the platform that funds all of those dreams, not just for you, but for you, for your spouse, if you have one, or if you're going to have one someday, for your children, if you have them, or you will someday, and for your family. And I have watched me in business part-time put myself and my family in a position where they never have to think about money again. With my mom and dad. My mom and dad have been fully financially retired since they were like, I don't know, since they were like 52 or somewhere around there probably. And being able to just make dreams come true for people in our family that we love and care about. And then obviously for ourselves. And then I've watched people on my team in business build a dream life part-time. Part-time. In my industry, by getting their license to be able to sit with the client and implement something, and on a part-time basis, on hobby hours, on spare time hours, bring in full-time income into their family. That's crazy, but that's what entrepreneurship is. That's what business is. So let's go through it and let's talk about it. And I wrote down some steps. Number one, you got to fall in love with the future. This is where it starts. Falling in love with the future, starting with the destination in mind. Where am I going? Okay, because when you have this, you have buy-in into why you're doing something. What's the goal? What's the dream? Is it to become debt-free? Is it to build savings? Is it to completely pay your house off? Is it to retire mom and dad? Is it to someday be full-time? What's the dream? Is the dream to have a six-figure income, to have more time freedom with your family? Is the dream to travel the world? What's the actual dream for you? Why are you doing this? If you started in any business, if you started in my industry, in my company, or my business, and you got your license, why are you doing it? People take action when they're emotionally moved, when they're excited about the purpose and the reason and the why behind what they're doing. So I got a stat for you. It says 61% of people want a side hustle. 61% of people want a side hustle. Listen, if you're in my industry, that's a hell of a stat for you to know right now. 61 out of every 100 Americans that you see when you walk into a restaurant, 61 adults want a side hustle. Only 8% of them start it and sustain it. Why? Because they lack vision and discipline. So you got 61% of people who, if you talk to them about an opportunity in business to do something else part-time, there's a chance they would say yes. Isn't that crazy? To me, that's absolutely crazy. But then only 8% of them will follow through. Why? I think because they lack vision and discipline. They're not clear on what they want, or maybe they lack leadership, or maybe they're just in the wrong opportunity. They don't have something good they're doing. They're trying to do something that's not going to pay off. But 61% want a side hustle. That's wild to me. That means it's recruiting season for me, for my team. When I look at the world, 61 out of every 100, that means I've got a greater chance of someone telling me yes than no. So here's the bottom line. You got to fall in love not just with what you do, but also with what it does for your life. You got to fall in love with not just with what you do, not just with the business, but what the business can provide for your life. The future. Listen, I was never passionate about life insurance or retirement. I wasn't passionate about that. Now I'm a lot more passionate about it now, as I've paid off a lot of death benefits to families. We've delivered a lot of checks to clients. I've seen clients retire on accounts that we put in place. I've seen kids go to college on accounts that we put in place. And I've seen families receive checks on life insurance policies that we put in place. Some of them very close to me. I'm a lot more passionate about it now. But I'm still more fired up and passionate about what we do for the agent, for the teammate, for the part-time person who's got a full-time job and is a single mom, but part-time they're making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month with us on a 1099. I'm way more passionate about that. Why? Because I see that change people's lives every single day. And not just in their bank account. I watch their life become better in so many areas before it becomes better in their bank account. They become better spouses, better siblings, better children, better parents. They become better friends, just better humans. They think bigger. They're more positive and optimistic. They're more excited about their life. They're more focused on learning. They're reading books that they've never read books since they were in elementary school. They're working on themselves. They're going to the gym. They're working on their faith. They're listening to podcasts. Like no one's perfect, but I watch these people's lives improve where they get on this journey of just becoming a better human, becoming the best version of themselves. And then throughout that process, guess what? Money starts coming in the bank account. They start making money part-time. They start getting checks. They start sitting with clients and helping families and learning and starting to believe in what they're doing. There's so much benefit that comes from this. So much benefit. You got to fall in love with the future, not just for you, but for your teammates. Another point I wrote down is that you can have a full-time mentality and still win on part-time hours. Ownership. Guess what, guys? Ownership is an identity. It's not a clock. It doesn't matter how many hours you could put to your business as long as you can put hours. Ownership is in the way you think. It's not in your clock. It's not in your time stamp on your clock in, clock out check. Like, it's not on any of that stuff. Ownership is in the way I think and the way I move. And when I'm at work all day, fulfilling my job responsibilities, what's in my head? I'm doing a great job at my job, but what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about my businesses. I'm thinking about what I'm trying to do. You're either an employee or an entrepreneur, period. It doesn't matter if you have a job or not. From an identity standpoint, you are an employee or an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs max out every available moment that they have. They max out their available time, not the ideal time, not the convenient time. They max out the available time. If I'm a full-time mom with a full-time job, or I'm a full-time dad with a full-time job, and I get home and then I'm full-time parent mode, taking care of the kids, and then I'm done, guess what? I'm gonna max out those last hours. The last hour or two that I have for the day, or the last 30 minutes, I'm gonna maximize it. Listen, average America scrolls social media 2.5 hours a day. So if I could just take 1 hour of those 2.5, by the way, that's so true. If you look at your TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all this kind of crap, and you add up all the hours, I guarantee you, you're probably spending 2.5 hours a day for most of us, if not more. If you could just redirect 1 hour a day of that, just one, and put it to your business, that's 365 hours a year. You don't think you could build something on 365 hours a year? That's 9 work weeks. That's 9 full-time work weeks. You don't think you could build something? That's over 2 months. So you got to commit. You got to commit to entrepreneurship being an identity. If I'm at work, I'm sitting at work, and if I'm a nurse, I'm like, man, listen, I'm like telling the nurse next to me, I'm not going to be here for much longer. What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to be here for much longer? I'm not going to be here for much longer. I'm in business. I'm getting my license right now. I'm in a position to leave my job and completely replace my income by the end of the year. You got to memorize that. I'm in business. I'm in the process of getting my license, and I'm in a position to completely leave my job and replace my income by the end of the year. That doesn't say you've made any money. You could have made $0 and still said that. Because guess what? I've got news for you. You are in a position, if you are here, if you're in business with me, you're in a position to completely replace your job and income and leave your job by the end of the year. That doesn't have anything to do with how much money you've made right now. It's about where you're going. It's the vision. It's the identity. And it's completely factual and truthful. Okay? It's identity over excuses, over time, over availability. It does not take time to make money. You know the whole phrase, oh, time is money. You want to know why they say that? Because you have to swap time for money at your job. That's an employee's way of thinking. Time equals money. My time is $31 an hour. 10 hours, $300. Does that make sense? That's time equals money. That's not true in entrepreneurship. That's not true when you have a business that puts you in place where you're getting paid for results and you're getting paid for the outcome. You're not getting paid for time. You're getting paid for the job done. I'm not getting paid for the hour I spent with you. I'm getting paid for the 15 years I put mastering my craft before I spent an hour with you. That's what I'm getting paid for. Okay, that's entrepreneurship. Full-time mindset, part-time hours. I could have full-time teammates while I'm part-time in business. I could recruit full-time freaking killers in the business that are just smashing it while I'm part-time. I could keep my job as a nurse or a doctor or an attorney or an accountant while I'm part-time, and I could still have full-time teammates that are sitting with clients on a full-time basis. I could own a franchise down the street and clock in there on 0 time and still own a full-time business. That's my point. Entrepreneurship is an identity. You're either an entrepreneur or an employee. In your head, that's it. You're not both. It's one or the other. When I was an employee, on the time clock. I was an entrepreneur in my head from the day I started in business. And I knew absolutely nothing about business, by the way, at that point. But I was sold out and I was all in. The amount of time that most of us spend on social media, we could build an entire freaking empire over 10 years. If we stick to it. Okay, another thing, being goal-focused. Goal-focused, what does that mean? That means that I understand why I'm running for something before I start running. So when I get in business, I know what my goal is. I know what my goal is right now in my career. And you got to know what your goal is. What is it right now? Is it to get your license? Is it to get your promotion? Is it to learn how to be independent? It's goal-focused execution. What does that mean? I don't just wake up every day and business as usual. I don't just wake up every day and try to figure out what the heck I'm going to go do. Oh, well, I hope I do something today that's productive. I've got so many people on my team like that. People think that everyone on my team does a great job. That is not true. Most of my team doesn't even listen to my own podcast. I do this to train the rest of the industry, not my people, because most of my guys don't even listen to it. I've got people on my team every day. They wake up and they just got their head so far up their ass. They have no clue what they're doing. They don't even know. What's your goal right now? They're clueless. I'm talking about goal-oriented execution, which means that I wake up and I grind with an end goal in mind, with a purpose. When I'm working, I'm freaking on my game. And I'm always on my game. That's how you win. That's goal-oriented. I just don't just wake up every day and, hopefully everything goes good today. Hopefully I land a client today. Hopefully I get paid today. No, that's not goal-oriented execution. That's stupidity in business. That's just like complete naive ignorance. Versus goal-oriented means I'm working towards something every day on task. I know what I'm supposed to do to move the needle forward, and I'm moving the freaking needle forward. That's goal-oriented. Whether it's making my first $1,000, I'm pushing for clear outcomes on deadlines, dates and times for things that I'm trying to get done. Exciting goals, things that fire me up. Things that get me excited and enthusiastic every single day about them. Things that I believe in. Things that make me emotional. Things that I want. Okay? And I run that on a full schedule. So schedule and max out every opportunity I have. Part-time success requires a full-time attitude. Part-time winning requires full-time thinking. I can't make full-time money on part-time thinking. So if I want to win part-time, I have to think like I'm full-time. It's a full-time attitude, which means I'm gonna put some things in place that make this happen for me, like a non-negotiable business hours. Every day I gotta get work for at least like 2 hours. Even if it's the last 2 hours of the day, I gotta do something. Or it's the first 2 hours of the day. It's really early. Non-negotiable business hours. Where my business becomes my job. Like, it's so crazy to me. Like, people are like, oh, I can't go to the meeting today. I can't run the appointment because I have to go pick up my kids. Like, when you were working a damn job, you weren't picking up your kids. Now, I understand you're like, yeah, but I'm in business so that I can pick up my kids. Okay, that's fine. I get that. But, like, people come in, they get in business, and then they start doing all these things that they never did if they were at a job. They couldn't do any of this stuff. All of a sudden, you're cooking dinner every single night of the week. That's why you can't run appointments, because you got to cook dinner and you got to do all these things that you weren't doing before when you were at a job. And so then people, they come full-time into business and they just crumble because they do not treat their business like a job. Listen, I have always treated my business like a job. Even though it's not. You want to know why? You want to know why I've always treated my business like a job? I'm going to tell you why. Honest answer. Because I don't ever want to go back to an effing job. And in order for me to never have to go back to a job, I have to treat my business like a job. Otherwise, I will wake up one day and find my butt back at a job. Because the second I get casual, I'll become a casualty. I'm gone. I'm out of the business. I'm out of the game. I've always treated my business like a job. Every day I wake up and I work like someone's trying to whoop my ass and take me out of business. Why? So that I never have to go back to a job. I create those boundaries. I create that mentality for myself. I operate on my schedule like I'm scared. That's how we got here, is by grinding like we're scared. Now, the reality is that if you could create that in your mind, you never go back to a job and you never have to have a reason to be scared. Busy work, you guys, doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't. Being busy doesn't pay the bills. Being just, getting a bunch of nonsense done doesn't pay the bills. Being brave and busting your butt every day pays the bills. Okay? Do the big things. The big things that move the needle. What are the big things in business? I'm going to tell you what they are right now. Number one, never miss meetings. Ever. Do not miss meetings. Do not. Just like at the gym. Don't miss the gym. You're guaranteed you're going to get somewhere if you don't miss the gym. You're going to get in some sort of shape. Some sort of better shape than you are now if you always show up. Guess what? If you always show up to the meeting, you're always going to win. Number two, don't miss growth opportunities. Listening to podcasts, reading books, mentorship, going to events, getting a chance to spend time with your coach. These are opportunities to grow. Okay, these are big, big, big things. Always make sure you have some sort of money-making, revenue-generating activity on the calendar. Every day, you got to be doing something that makes you money. Even on your worst day, find a way to do something that can make you money today. Find a way. Book an appointment. Follow up with someone that you could have closed. Like, listen, part-time, you guys, it's crazy to me when you're part-time and you don't make money. Well, how do you find a way to not make money? Every day, revenue generating, money making activity, something that's going to make me money every single day. I think I'm fired up for this episode. I could tell when I'm doing a good job because my producer's writing a lot of notes. That's how I could tell. I'm like, okay, we're doing something good. Every day, you guys, listen, you don't need more time. A lot of us think we need more time. We waste so much time. You do not need more time. You need more focus and more courage with the time that you have. That's it. There's not more time. We cannot go create more time in the day. You need more focus and more courage with the time that you have. You need to stop wasting the time. Okay? Talk to your coach every day. Constant communication with coach every day, 8 to 10 times a day. I'm calling, I'm texting, I'm FaceTiming, I'm checking in. Hey, coach, do you have time? Can we spend some time together? Hey, can we get on the phone and ask questions? And don't waste your coach's freaking time. Do not waste your coach's time. Listen, there are people in business that are high maintenance, which means you require a lot of work and you're very low production. High maintenance, low production, which means you constantly need attention and you constantly need help. And at the end of the day, from a business standpoint, your franchise, you, the franchisee, you provide very to little profit, which means we're putting a lot of work on you for nothing or close to it. Then there are other people that require almost zero work. There's zero headache. There's nothing ever wrong. And mind you, they smash it out of the park. They provide so much profit. Low maintenance, high production. Then there are other people that are low maintenance and low production. It's like, okay, you don't make any money, but you also don't require any time. And then there are other people that are high maintenance and high production. It's like, gosh, they're such a pain in the butt, but they're so good at the business. Now, my question for you is, who are you? I have done my best to always be almost zero maintenance and the most profitable franchise, to just smash it out of the park, to where the people who get a chance to benefit from me being in business with them get filthy, stone cold rich, and they don't have to worry about me. I'm always on my A game. Now, am I always on my A game? No, of course not. But I look like I'm always on my A game. Okay, I always have a challenge accepted mentality. Always. Constantly. I'm always looking for the next thing to win, looking for the next milestone to hit. Always got a Mamba mindset. That's my goal all the time. Challenge accepted mentality, constantly. Okay, you have to go for the long run and talk to your coach every day to get better, because we cannot microwave success. You cannot microwave winning. It doesn't happen overnight. Mastery doesn't become something in your life or in your skill overnight. Even those of you that are in the mastery class. By the way, if you're not in the mastery class, I think we put like 5 to 10 new people who are trying to get into the recording this last week. I haven't even got a chance to respond to everybody, but you could message me and get in there. But even those of you that went in the mastery, you don't go into mastery and then pop out the best overnight. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it takes time. You can't microwave it, but you can simmer it very slowly every single day and win. Okay. Let's see. Do I have any other points to cover? Yeah. Let's see. Become skilled. Okay. Become skilled. If you're in my industry, like if you're in business with me, we call it certified, where it's like, all right, they're licensed now, and we give them a stamp of approval. They're good. Skills pay, you guys. Get your license. You know, my license has made me so many millions of dollars. It's crazy. Get your license and then use the damn thing. Skills will pay you. Listen, if you're trying to figure out how to make money, you need to have a skill that can make you money. In my industry, you get the license, you learn how to sit with the client, and you learn how to close and put things in place. If you're in my industry, we are not selling things that are luxuries. We are selling things that are necessities. Things that people already pay for, their retirement plan, their 401k, which is garbage in most cases. The life insurance that they have at their job, which is group life insurance, and isn't even going to take care of their family. If the group life insurance is at your job, in most cases, is not going to leave generational wealth to your family. So we're not doing things that people don't need. We're doing things that are a necessity that people are already paying for. All you have to do is get your license that takes you 5 to 10 days, and then get online, pass your tests, or go in person, pass your tests, and then you get with your trainer, with your coach, and you learn the skill of how to put the license to work. And the skill will make you rich. The skill will make you rich. I know, because the skills made me rich. This is no fluff, no hype. Skills make you money. We're in a service-based industry. Just like someone preparing taxes, they have a skill. They got a license to prepare taxes. They prepare taxes, they get paid. I get my real estate license. I sell a home, I get paid. It's very simple. The skill makes you money. Except for our skill, I submitted a client yesterday. I got paid. My client already got approved today. I'll get paid on the next pay cycle, 3-5 days from now. It's like that. 2 hours, $6,500. What other? I mean, there are options out there, I'm sure. But I mean, something I could be passionate about, that's moral and ethical and aligns with my values, and it's rewarding. I mean, dude, the skill will make you rich. Learn the scripts, learn the product knowledge, learn how to communicate, learn how to use social media. By the way, I had a lot of people ask for the script from some of you guys that I've never even chatted with before. I don't even know you listen to the show. Message me asking for the script after the last episode. If you haven't done that, I'll give it to you. But learn social media, learn how to prospect, learn how to stack your skill. Actually do something called skill stacking. Okay? Skill stacking. What is skill stacking? I take my license. I take the scripts. I take my social media. I post every single week, 2 to 3 times a week. Like, I'm stacking up all my skills, and all these things add up to me making money. All of them. They all add up to me making money. Amateurs just dabble in things, okay? They just, let me try it out. That's amateur. That's rookie crap. Amateurs don't make money. Rookies don't make money. You want to know what makes money? Professionals. Professionals get certified. They get licensed. They become a master at their skill. And then they go apply that skill, and they get freaking rich. That's how you do it. Part-time hustle can create full-time money, okay? A couple things I wrote down that I don't want you to, I don't want you to fall into these traps. Okay, number one is thinking that just because you're part-time, you could just screw around with this thing. Because you're only part-time. That is a huge freaking failure. And you don't know I wrote that down because someone told me that today. They're, oh, I'm only part-time. So right now, I'm like, wait. I'm only part-time? That's dumb. That's just not smart. That is like failure before you began. They told me, I'm only part-time, so you know. I'm like, no, I don't know. What do you mean, so you know? I have people that made the 6 figures part-time. Don't think just because you're only part-time that you can just coast, okay? Another thing, not having an intentional schedule. That's a recipe for failure. Not having an intentional schedule. Where these days you show up to training. These days you work. These days you make sure you have appointments. If I've got the weekends off, I got to maximize the weekend. I can make more money on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday than I do Monday through Friday at my job. I'm going to say that again. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, I can make more money with my license, with my skill, than I make all week at my job. That's an intentional schedule, okay? Another big mistake is expecting full-time results when you're giving hobby-type effort. Expecting to replace your salary. Some people come in business and they're like, it's actually wild to me. They come in business and they expect, because we sell such a big dream, because we mean it and it's real and it comes true for people every day. It becomes reality. They come in business and they expect to make 6 figures, 7 figures, and then they expect us to deliver on that. And then they give us a hobby effort. Like a $5,000 effort a year, not a month. Like a hobby effort. Like they almost do nothing. They expect full-time results and they don't put in the work. And then they quit. And when they start, they're like, oh, this isn't a get-rich-quick thing, right? And then they quit because they didn't get rich quick. Like that's actually what they wanted. They wanted to get rich quick. They don't say that, but that's what they wanted. You wanted a get-rich-quick scheme. That's why you left. This is not that. You got to put in some time. But man, let me tell you, if you put in some time, your results do not care if you're part-time. Your commission does not care if you're part-time. Your commission doesn't know. It does not discriminate. It does not matter. The results and the commission only care if you're consistent. That's it. That is it. So what would I be doing right now if I'm part-time? I'll tell you, I'm going to set some daily goals. Daily goals. I'm going to take 15 minutes every night before I go to bed and I'm going to plan the next day. 15 minutes every night before I go to bed. Looking at my calendar the next day and I'm planning. I'm going to touch bases with my coach like 5 to 10 times a day. By the way, my best people I talk to all day. Some of them, they're making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. And I talk to them all day. They call me all day. They text me all day. And these are the ones making the most money, not the ones making the least money. And the ones making the least money, if we talked more often, they'd probably do better. Okay, I'm going to plan my day 15 minutes before bed every night. I'm going to have the next day all mapped out. I'm going to talk to my coach every single day. I'm going to try to put 1 or 2 pieces of activity on the calendar every day. If I have in my team a night where I could bring guests and I could put a bunch of people in a meeting to learn all at once, all week long, I'm stacking up my guest count to put 5, 10, 15 people in the meeting. That way I could get 15 hours worth of appointments done in 1 hour. Guess what that does? That frees me up. I'm maximizing my time. Okay? I'm making sure I show up to all weekly trainings, all big events. If there's a convention, I'm going to convention. If I'm on social media, I'm posting 2 to 3 times a week. Just putting out there what I'm doing. I'm not telling the world I'm part-time. People are like, well, if you're so good at it, if it's so great, why are you part-time? How the hell do they know you're part-time? I don't even understand how they know that unless you told them that. How do they know? Well, if you were doing so well, why do you still have a job? How do they know you still have a job? Oh, well, when it works for you, then I'll join you in business. When you're making money, then I'll join you in business. How do they know you're not making money? You told them? Never once did I say to tell them you're making money. Never once did I say to tell them you're full-time in business. I'm just asking how they know you're not making money or that you're not full-time in business. Why are you saying that stuff? Don't say that stuff. Think like you're full-time. Act like you're full-time. Walk like you're full-time. Dress like you're full-time. When you get off work, go home, put on a suit. Go out in the world, prospect, go to the grocery store. Dress pants, nice shirt, and a jacket. Leave the tie at home. No one wears ties anymore unless you're going to court. Don't wear a tie. But go out in the world and look the part. Go out and look the part. You could be full-time. Remember, like I said, this is how we're going to end. Okay? entrepreneurship, or employee. That's it. You're either an entrepreneur or an employee. That's it. It's an identity. Okay? It's not a clock. It's an identity. If I got a job, I could have a job, but I'm still an entrepreneur. Full time in my mind, I'm an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur or you're an employee. That's it. And entrepreneurs think and carry themselves and do things differently. I could be an employee for 5 years, but I'm still an entrepreneur because I know I'm going to spend the rest of my life as an entrepreneur. Because as soon as I get this thing off the ground, I'm out of here. I'm off my job. And the rest of my life is going to be free, and I'm going to run a business, even if I run it for myself. All right, as we finish up, as usual, we're doing social media audits. I've been responding to everybody. I'm current on almost all my messages. If you're in the Goat Sledge, we drop stuff in the Goat Sledge all day on building yourself, building your brand, entrepreneurship, leadership, social media, how to max it out. And what else? Let's see. We got the mastery class, which is my recruiting class. Everything I've ever learned on how to prospect and recruit both online and social media. Literally everything I've learned in 14 years is all in the mastery class. We just did part 2. I wrote a whole book for class 1 on scripts and tools and resources and exactly what to say when they say this and how to find people on social media and who to prospect and who not to and all that stuff. And then I did a whole another one on class 2. So if you want access to any of that, you can send me a message and let me know that you want in the mastery class. But as always, all the shares, all that good stuff. Vegas is coming up soon. Looking forward to meeting everybody and hopefully getting a chance to, to say hi and take a picture or something if we happen to cross paths. And we are out. All right, you guys. Appreciate you always.